So let's go on. So first thing is goal setting. Second is budgeting, and the next is around planning for your finances. It's really, really simple and straight. If you people know me now, you know that madam, it has to be simple. It has to be as simple and clear as day that a primary school person can get like a grasp of it. So welcome to this session. And I want to find out, so everyone listening, either you're listening on IG, you're listening on what's it called? On Zoom, are you ready for a better money year? So we have the calendar. I already said that we have the calendar, which is January to December. And most of the time when people plan, the government, us as individuals, people, religious bodies, communities like ourselves, we plan for a whole year. So I want to see in the chat, how many of us are ready for a better money year? This is why we're having this conversation so that you can look at ways you can improve or do better with your finances. So let me see in the comments, how many of us here is ready for a better money year? I haven't seen any comments in the chat yet, but I believe that okay, there is. Okay, great, great, great. So you're the one I'm going to be talking to right about now in today's conversation, right? So this is going to be a short session. We've already spent a bit of time with the whole modalities thing. I didn't check in from where you guys are listening from, but then again, please make sure you have your earpiece, you have your notepad. Very important that you have your notepad. I'm very particular about this. When I'm telling you that you want to be sure that you have your notepad, you want to be sure that you have your notepad and get yourself your earpiece or whatnot. So think about your, like when you think about your 2025, when you think about the whole year as it has been, from this is December already, from January to right now in December, what would you rate it over 10? I'm talking about your finances. I'm not talking about health. I'm not talking about wealth. I'm not talking about, sorry, I'm not talking about exercise, community and all that. I'm talking about your money right now. How would you rate your finances for this particular year over 10? Let me see. Let me go and check the chat. I'm going to be looking at two charts, so pardon me. How would you rate your finances this particular year over 10? Oh my goodness. There's so many responses here. So I see 5 over 10. That's like 50%. There's 3 over 10, 30%. Oh my gosh. I am surprised. Not like I'm surprised, but I'm very glad that everyone who has responded so far, this is 7 over 10. Everybody who has responded so far has been really, would I say, I'll use the word honest with themselves, because for you to say 3 over 10, that means that is a lot of introspection that you must have done to get that number, right? But that's fine. It doesn't matter whether you have 10 over 10. It doesn't matter whether you have, someone is even saying 0. It doesn't matter if you have 10 over 10 or 1 over 10 right now. I'm glad that you're in this particular conversation, because we're going to have to move you from point A to point B before the year runs out, right? And then if you're interested, you could join the Money Moves Masterclass in January, where you literally set the pace for 2026. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot more, but don't worry, not to worry. Don't beat yourself up, because I'm seeing a lot of low numbers. I do hope that you're not beating yourself up. And I'm very glad that you're telling yourself that you have low number. You're currently here because it's going to be like a very, very eye-opening conversation, right? And I love to start my conversations by asking questions, because it's very important for us to be carried, would I say, yeah, carried along together, so that at the end of the day, you do better, right? So we're planning now so that you have clarity. And the reason why it's good to have clarity when it comes to money or any other area of your life is because when you have clarity, you're reducing pressure, unnecessary pressure that you end up putting on yourself. You set realistic, I would use the word like very, very realistic goals for yourself. So you're not beating yourself up at the end of the day. And then you now pretty much understand what spending habits you probably have, or bad decisions that you might want to fall into, but because you've had the conversation, your eyes are open, you're now able to now make better decisions for yourself, right? So a lot of people would stay stuck, a lot of people would want to remain where they are at because of one of these three things, right? Number one, which is like what a lot of people find themselves doing, there is no clear plan. You can see on the screen, this is the one that has this, that is the last on list, because a lot more people would see themselves without a plan, and they are wondering how they're supposed to move from point A to point B without planning. I'm so big on this thing where we talk about writing your vision plain so that you can run with it. A lot of people do not plan. A lot of people just say it in their head and they expect that their memory is going to serve them to eternity. No, you need to literally plan. And I'm going to talk about how to plan as we go on. And I'm going to, like, it's going to be, obviously, we're going to use the SMART method. I'm going to give examples. So you're going to see how to do it for yourself. And then number two is because there is no clear number. I don't know how you want to win financially without knowing specific numbers. I'm not sure how you can do it. You don't know your income, you don't know your expenses, you don't know your budget. Some people don't even know how much they are owing for those that are in debt. Some people don't even know what they are meant to do next. So you want to ensure that you have all of these things in place. You want to know your numbers. You want to know what you are gunning for. Number three is there is no discipline. You say today I will do this, you don't stick to it. Tomorrow you say you will do this, you do not stick to it. How exactly would you get the desired results that you have without discipline? No accountability, no self-discipline, no external discipline. Please, if you're in any of these buckets, because I know that there'll be some people that will say, okay, they don't have their money goal written down, which is absolutely fine. A lot of us don't. We say it in our head. But you see, those people that don't know their numbers, it's as if the number is increasing for people who don't have clear plans, to people who don't know their numbers, to people who don't have discipline. But today we have to fix that discipline part, because a lot of people would say, okay, I'm going to do XYZ and do not stick to the plan. If you are part of those people, touch yourself, don't put your hand on your head and say, this year, I'm going to leave it in 2025. You see, this December, I'm going to fix my discipline. I'm going to put all of things that's going to help me in place, right? So now I'm going to ask like a general question to everybody that is listening, either you're on IG or you're on Zoom. What what do you want your money to do for you? Write it down in the chat or write it down on your notepad. What do you want your money to do for you? So before we go, I'm going to allow you to be writing it down, and I'm going to come back to the chat to read the answers. But there's this very simple philosophy that I live by, that I currently swear by, that I wake up, I sleep, I like I literally live by this philosophy, which is start small. It's a three-step. I'm now a three-step woman because I like easy things. And one thing I've noticed about myself is that whatever is going to make me not do something, I'll try to break it down to the barest minimum so that I have like minimal or no excuse at all. So this is why I had to come up with a three-step philosophy for myself that has helped me over the years to grow. I know I did not do the whole introduction of who I am, what I've done. Don't worry, at the end of the class, we can do all of those ones. But right now, we're focused on trying to ensure that in this 1 hour, we get as much value as possible and you are able to write down answers to as many questions so that when you go back to sleep or whatever you're going to do later on today, you're able to then answer these questions for yourself. So what philosophies do I live by? Number one, start small. When I started my journey, I did not start with 1 million. I did not start with 10 million. I did not start with 100 million. Currently, I am growing. I can beat myself to say that I am growing well. I am growing really fast. So you have to start small, but you do not start small and remain small. What do? You grow smart. You do not start small and remain small. You grow smart. So as I'm starting with my 5K, I'm going to ensure that as I'm moving on in life, I'm able to grow. My earning is growing, I am growing. I'm going to put things in place for me to be able to make more money and all of that sort of thing. Number three is stay consistent. There are a lot of things that I would not be able to boast about today if I was not consistent. Let me use my latest good news for an example. Just less than 30 minutes ago before this call, or let's say 20 minutes, let's say 30 minutes for this call, by 7 o'clock, it's already past 8. I saw my name on a list of people that is going to be trained by the federal government to talk about the new tax law. If I was not consistent, you people would have not voted for me. If you people have not been seeing me for so long, you would have not voted for me. This is just one example. For my investments, the same thing. For my career trajectory right now, the same thing. You have to stay consistent. So for everyone listening to me right now, for your money, for your finances, you have to stay consistent. So now I'm waiting for the responses to everyone who the question I asked. Let me go and check. What do you want your money to do for you? So someone already said, Aderonke says, to work while I sleep. And that is absolutely possible as long as you see, as soon as you start investing. I promise you, dividend, capital gain, interest. See, I love these words. I love the word interest. I love the word dividend. I love the word capital gain. As long as you start investing, you get to set yourself up for that success. So someone says, I think Fidelis says investment. So let me check this other side. Let me get to it. I want my money to earn for me. Kiruka. This I like this. I love this. My money must earn more money. Simple. Everybody might want something different. Everybody might want something new. Everybody might not want the exact same thing. But the important thing is for you to be able to move from point A to point B, you want to know what exactly you want. And this particular conversation is the starter kit for you to excel in 2026. This is for community members. I put it up on IG. I usually don't do this, but what do? We want as many people as possible to get this information, right? So when you think about what you want your money to do for you, when you think about what you want your money to do for you, you want to have goals in 3 categories. I said 3 again. So everything you're going to be learning today is just going to be 3s. Keep it like that, right? Either you have your life goals, your career goals, your business goal, your finance goal. You want all of these to be in categories, right? So for your 2026 money goals, you want to have number 1, security. Your money, your finances should give you security. Money is a tool. I repeat, money is a tool. And one of the jobs that money is meant to do for you is to give you security. How does this apply? Paying your bills is security, because if you do not pay your house rent, your landlord will throw you outside. Paying your, probably let's say, getting yourself data, getting yourself clothing, all of these things are basic things that you need. And if you do not have them, you would not feel secured. If you do not have them, you would not feel confident to stay, like you will not be comfortable, right? Number 2, inside security, is you having an emergency fund. So if you're thinking about what goal should I have, I want to have security goals. I want to have money security goals. And I am going to ensure that inside all of these, my goals, I would include my bills. I would include my emergency fund. Number 2, in this your money goal that you're going to be setting for next year, are you listening? You're going to have growth goals. Are you with me? You're going to have growth goals. What is this growth goal about? I want my money, I want to be able to have skills that is going to affect my finances in one of these ways. Number 1, to be able to get investment. Remember that a number of you already said that I want to invest. I want my money to make more money for me. I want my money to multiply. You people said it in different ways. This is a goal that you must have for the year 2026, a growth goal. So it's either you are investing, but your money must be able to go back and bring more money for you. And this can be done by investing or by upskilling in yourself. So I already have so many growth goals for myself for next year because you see certifications, I will get a number of them. I will get so many of them that even at work, they'll be wondering who is chasing this girl. In YPLG, you will be wondering who exactly is chasing this girl. Why am I thinking about this? This year I already saw the evidence of upskilling. Like it's so glaring. So what is that thing you can do? What is that goal that you can do that would improve your finances to increase? Skills related, investment related. These two things is going to skyrocket your finances. But number 3 on this list is freedom goals. Freedom goals. And what do I mean by this? Number 1, you want to travel. You want to plan for it. So it could just be that, okay, I don't have enough money to travel to Maldives or Seychelles or whatever. Nobody should correct my spelling. I'm going to drag whoever corrects my spelling. My pronunciation, rather. You want to travel. Okay, I can go to maybe 3 southeastern states or 3 cities, or I can go to 3 countries. This is going to cost you money. So you want to have it in your list of your goals. I'm going to say this in as many ways as possible. Number 2, freedom. Your money should give you freedom. So what are those big purchases that you want to have? Are you buying your car? Are you buying a giant refrigerator? Are you moving apartments? You want to have this literally in your goals. So you already know that 2026, X, Y, Z, things that I'm going after, the things that I want for myself. And then for those of us that have what's it called, debts that we want to clear off, you want to have it in your goals as well. I've divided this into 3 parts now. Number 1, security. Number 2, growth. Number 3, freedom. Because I'm very sure that a number of us that have debt, it is not good debt. A number of us that have debt, it is not good debt. So you want to ensure that you are paying off these things that is drawing you back from growing as fast as you want. Are you with me? So now, how exactly do you do this? You want to write down your goal. You want to write down your goal, and it has to be simple. It has to be clear. It has to be realistic, and it has to be time bound. If your goal does not have these 3 or 4 things I just mentioned, then you are not setting a goal. You are wishing, you're hoping that one day you will wake up and everything that you thought of in your head will come forth. Meanwhile, you by yourself, you've already set yourself for heartbreak number 1. Later, you say that, the year did not kinikon, and you are the one who did not even do it well. You're the one that did not even plan properly. So, what did I say? It has to be simple. You have to write down this goal first. And it has to be, when you're writing it down, it has to be simple, it has to be clear, and it has to be realistic and time bound. If it does not have time attached to it, I promise you it is not a goal. You are wishing. I do it too, don't worry. Don't think I'm shading you or dragging you. I do it sometimes because I know I'm not serious. I know that I wish to do it, but I don't want to put in the work. So if you don't have all of these things like written out, then I promise you, you're just wishing, you're just thinking, okay, is this what I want? Maybe it's going to be a nice to have, so it is good and whatnot. So for those of you on Instagram, there's slide that is on for people that are registered on Zoom. So click on the link in my bio, the very first link in my bio, if you want to see the slides. So now, example, because I'm sure somebody right there is already thinking, Ma, what is the example that you're going to give to me today? Example, let's say you want to save some money. It has to be as simple as, in 2026, I want to save 1.2 million naira. And now am I going to save 1.2 million naira in 2026? I'm going to be saving 100,000 naira every month for 12 months. You can see that it is very simple. I want to save money. I know the amount I want to save, which is very, very clear. I know the time frame I want to use and save this money. I know how I am going to remain consistent. Can you see? Can you see how simple it is? Let's say, okay, is investing you want to do. I want to invest 10,000 naira every single week. By the time you multiply this by 52 weeks, you know what the total amount is going to be. Or another very important simple goal that I'm going to use, simple, clear, realistic, and time-bound goal, is that I want to have an emergency fund. I'm going to talk about this later on as we go on. But then again, I want to build my emergency fund to either three months or 6 months worth of emergency fund. And we all know what an emergency fund is, right? We do, right? If we don't, stay behind. I'm going to explain. Then I want to clear off my X amount of debt in X period of time. Let's say in the next 12 months, I want to clear out my 10 million naira debt. Simple, shikena. You know the end goal. You know the time it's going to take you. You know the amount that you're going to be using every month. You know whether or not it is realistic. And if it is not realistic, I'm sorry, maybe you have to start all over again until it is realistic. If it is not realistic, I'm sorry, you have to start all over again until it is realistic. Right? So I'm going to move straight into the second part. Remember, I said we're doing 3 parts for this particular conversation today, which is our Money Moves webinar, where I'm going to be walking you through trying to get ready for 2025. 2026. So sorry. We're going into a new year. Is us talking about a budgeting framework. So I'm always talking about budget, of which I just remember that you people have not seen, you've not officially heard from me. Let me see that. You've not officially heard from me, but this is going to be available. Let me see. This is for my YouTube, my Instagram people first. This is going to be available throughout 2026 for everybody. It's a personal finance journal. And everything that we're going to be talking about in this conversation, you can achieve it with this. But that's not why we are here today. Budgeting framework. We talk about budgeting. Budgeting simply means you telling your money exactly where you want it to go. You're literally telling your money exactly where you want it to go. Whether you want it to work for you, or you want it to work for your father and your mother only, or you want it to work for all of your extended family, you're telling your money exactly where you want it to go. Please hold your questions till when we're done. I won't be able to attend to questions so that we don't spend more time than we should, right? So draw my attention to when we're done, right? So budgeting framework. Budgeting is telling your money exactly where you want it to go. And it is very, very important that you tell your money where you want it to go. So you're going to categorize your money into different things. For this particular example, the one on YouTube, on Zoom, I wrote the needs, the wants, the goals, the growth, the buffer, because we're all living in Nigeria. Are we all living in Nigeria that you plan for A, B will happen? You want to ensure that you plan for as much as possible so that you do not feel overwhelmed or you do not feel disrupted every single time something that is not on your list happens. So what are your needs? Number one, things that you cannot do without. Me, I cannot do without food. Okay, I can do without food, but then again, I'm not going to allow this. Things that you cannot do without: food, water, electricity, data, things that actually keep you alive, your house rent, afloat. Yes, that is what you're going to put on your list for your budget. Number two, your wants. Because you're the one that worked for this money and this is not your landlord and it is not your family members that worked for this your salary, you're going to write down things that are important to you, that adds flavor and color to your life. Is it going out? Is it eating shawarma? Is it doing, you want to add that to your list. And please, it doesn't mean that you add everything in the whole wide world, but you get the gist. Number three, I added your goals. The reason why I'm adding your goals is sometimes we'll say, okay, I want to write my professional exam. We already talked about growth, right? But somehow you forget to budget that your professional exam is going to cost you 500,000. And you have to plan towards getting that 500,000, because if you use your full salary to write the exam, how are you going to live? So you want to also plan towards your goals. Are you with me? Number three, your growth. Another example would be, let me use the same professional exam, because like I said, if we're going to be planning for our finances this year, for the coming year rather, we're not going to only plan for things that are regular. We're going to plan so that we can earn more money, because at the end of the day, there's only a matter of how much you as a person can cut down your expenses. But you see the limit at which you can earn money. There is no way you can earn. See now, look at Dangote, look at Elon. There is no limit as to how much you can earn, but there's a limit to how much you can cut down on your expenses. So we're going to talking about your growth as well. You want to put that into your budget. That is the only realistic way it is going to work, except you're a trust fund baby. And meanwhile, there's a content that's going out very soon. I'm looking for a trust fund baby to be my friend. Then your buffer. I put this buffer part in this particular conversation because we do not plan for the parts that we do not know about, right? And most of the time, this pretty much disrupts our whole finances. Your vehicle could just go back and go bad, and everything that you've been thinking about, everything that you've been planning for has to be on halt. But if you plan for things that you do not know about, that is you having an emergency fund, you're not completely shaking. So even if you finish emptying your emergency fund this month, at least you still have something to fall back to. But if you do not have an emergency fund, what happens is you have nothing to fall back to, right? So if I was going to tell you, okay, for you to make your budget, use the 50-30-20 rule, I will be lying to you as a Nigerian living in Nigeria. You cannot outrightly use the 50-30-20 rule. That is why there's a buffer here. That is why there is a goals. That is why there's a want and there is a need. And the growth would also now cover for your savings and your investment, right? And then the cash flow type of budgeting will typically work in Nigeria because you understand, okay, this is what's coming in, this is what's going out, and everybody's happy, right? So let's move to what would actually work. When you're trying to make your budget, while it is nice to do the 50-30-20 rule, it's very nice to do it. You want to be flexible. Flexible in the sense that if you realistically need over 50% alone for food from your salary, then it means that your needs is going to be above 50%. So let's say it is 55%, or let's say it is 60%. Your want will now follow, your savings and your investment will follow. Then your flex part, where you're keeping money for an emergency, or you're keeping money for something that is important to you or that is not predictable. So let me use an example. If you live in Lagos, you would know that there are times of the days when transport would be more expensive than others. So let's say you're going from, I don't know what to use. Okay, let's use Lekki. You're going from Lekki to Aja in the morning, or on a regular day where everybody's head is correct. Lekki to Aja might be 1,000. And when people are coming back from work, Lekki to Aja could be 2,000. If you now say you're going to do your budget and you put only 1,000 to and 1,000 fro, it means that budget is not going to work, because there'll be days where probably there's traffic and then the bus people would increase their money. This happens a lot in Lagos. So this example can be replaced for any other place you probably would be. You want to be sure that you are making a concession for days that are abnormal. So this is where the flex or transport, this flexible is flexible. Sorry, I should have put flexible there. So that if there is something like this that happens to you, you're not, would I say, stranded, or you don't have to strain yourself. That's the word I'm trying to look for. Too much. So you understand, you don't have to do the 50-30-20. You have to do what works for you. You have to use a number that is realistic for you as a person, right? Are you with me? You have to use a number that is realistic for you as a person. So just ensure that the most important things are inside this your budget. So I made use of an example. So you get your income. The first thing you're going to do is take out your essentials: transport, food, things that literally keep you alive, right? Then you have to now plan for your growth. you have to plan for your goals, and then you have to plan for your buffer. So that at the end of the day, everything that you need is covered. So I made use of a 300K example here. Let's say the things that you cannot live without every single month is already 165K. And then your wants, going out, Uber here, shawarma there, kinikon there, 75K. Your goals, you're keeping aside 45K. Your buffer, you're putting aside 15K. This 15K would always come and save you in case you've already spent your 75K and finished, and you spent your 165K and there's nothing left. I hope people are following. Let me check the chat. I do hope you're following. Now, let's talk about money leaks, like things that come and scatter your money that you want to know about and you want to plan towards. I'm using transport because when I check my data, I see that a lot of people that follow me are in Lagos. So transport is the number one thing that can scatter your plan, especially this December. Well, yeah. You want to plan for your transportation and know how much you really, really need to move around, and then put a buffer so that at the end of the day, if there's anything extra, you are there, right? So, data, food, impulse buying, these are things that would always take your money, whether you like it or not, whether you plan for it or not. There are things that would always take your money. So let's talk about food. What can you do to ensure that you're not spending way more on food than you should? You want to plan your meals. See, if you plan your eating, like you plan your food, okay, I have a meal plan for this week. I'm going to eat XYZ in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. What this does for you is, let's say over the weekend, you can now easily just go and say, okay, I'm going to bulk buy everything I need to cook. Chicken, turkey, fish, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to buy everything. And I'm going to now plan the food so that at the end of the day, I'm not, did I say hungry? Yes. I'm not hungry and looking for ways to spend more money on food when I know that there's food at home. So this does not mean that you're not going to buy food out or you're not going to treat yourself, but it helps you to save more money in the long run. And then data. I've done a survey where I've seen that a lot of people complain that data is what eats their money. In fact, for example, one of the first financial goals I had, one of the reasons that motivated me to actually build my investment portfolio very, very, when I say aggressively, was data. I was spending so much money on data that I thought to myself one day and say, if I sit down now and buy bulk data, is it going to save me money? And yes. So in the beginning, it will look like you're spending a lot of money. But I promise you, if you calculate how much you're using to do 500 naira twice every day and compare it to you buying, let's say, 180 gig or buying 300 gig at once, that 300 naira, that 300 gig will be cheaper. It's just that you will feel the strain of buying it at once. And like I said, this was one of the reasons why I started building my investment portfolio very aggressively, because I'm like, okay, since I can earn interest and I can earn dividend, why not build a portfolio that it's going to sort out my data bill? Currently, there's a portfolio I have, there's a particular asset I have that was the main reason I built that asset to what it is now. And get as I want to chop data rich. I do hope that is everybody understands Pidgin? I cannot finish the money that particular portfolio brings me in every single month that I started because of data. And currently, I have now decided that I'm buying data in bulk. So I only buy data. I buy annual data now. And the last time I bought annual data, it lasted me for a whole year. So I bought 1 terabyte. It lasted me for a whole year. And I calculated the money I would have spent. Or funny thing is, what prompted me to buy the annual data was I had a budget for data, 20 to 30K. And I kept on exceeding my 20 to 30K every single month. So I now thought to myself, how much is annual data? As at then it was 100K. And I'm like, in how much is 30K every month? It will take me my 3 months data money and small 3.5 months to buy the annual data that was going to last me up to a year or throughout the year. And if I continue buying my 20K every month, let's say I start spending 20K every month, it take me 5 months to spend 100K. And if I buy 100K at once, it will take me for 12 months. Tell me which one is cheaper. Initially, spending 100K will be like, why would you spend 100K on data at once? But I kid you not, it is cheaper to buy in bulk. Anything you think about, it is cheaper to buy in bulk. Sachet milk, sachet sugar, anything that has a bigger quantity is cheaper to buy in bulk. But please do the math. Do the math very well. Aside fresh food, do the math. Then always have a weekly spending plan. So I'll use myself as an example again, right? Oh yeah, let me say my friend. This person, like, I'll typically spend a particular amount of, like, I'll spend a lot of money. And I'm wondering, why am I spending a lot of money? This is supposed to be what will be in my budget. This is what I'm supposed to spend on transport. This is what I'm supposed to spend on cash to whole hand so that I don't feel like I'm broke. I can just buy anything I want to buy, all those small impulse spending. When I put a cap to that amount, it made a lot more sense that, okay, my allowance, I was giving myself my allowance for the week is this amount, and I have to stick to it. There's food at home, there's data and all of that. So why are you spending X amount? So if you're thinking about impulse spending is taking you a lot of money, data is spending a lot of money, food is spending a lot of money, transport is spending a lot of money, then put a cap. As soon as you're able to put a cap, then you're able to know what is eating your money in the long run. I promise you. So let's move on. Oh my God, we're almost out of time. And we are not halfway done. Okay, we're halfway done. So we're now on savings. So how can you build a saving system, right? How can you build a saving system for yourself as an individual, as a person? Number one, you want to automate. Ensure that you always automate. See, if you are depending on your willpower is not going to take you anywhere. Even for me, in fact, I tried it out this year. Willpower did not take me nowhere. I'm sorry. I just remember that. To be honest, willpower is not going to take you anywhere. If you know that you want to save 100K every single month for 12 months, automate that 100K. Put it on the day that your salary is going to come in. Put it on the day you're going to pay yourself from your business, that 100K should be removed from your account. Whether you're using Piggyvest or any other saving platform that you want to use, put it there. Put it there. Like, let them be removing the money. Let them be moving money for you immediately. That is the way you are going to build a solid savings. If you tell yourself that, don't worry, when they pay me salary, I will transfer the money. Sorry, there's a sprinkle of lie that you've lied to yourself, because then there is discipline, then there's responsibilities, then there's a lot of people that you really want to give XYZ to. And before you know, your saving is now 50K instead of 100K, right? And number two is you want to always separate your account. If you remember, a few days ago, I made a post about different type of accounts you want. Just check my page, it's not far away on IG. You need to have at least 6 types of accounts. And number one on that list, aside your income account, is a separate savings account. You cannot save money and be spending money from the same account. You are not, I don't even know who is the most prudent person in the whole wide world, but you are not that person. I am not that person. I do not mix my saving and my spending in the same account. It is very simple, because one thing that we tend to do as human beings is that because the money is there, you want to always spend it. It's not that you want to spend it, to be fair. I will not judge you for wanting to spend it. After all, it's your money. But because it is there, you can see that, but my auntie needs this money. But me, I want to eat shawarma. Am I not the one that works for the money? You would end up spending that money. So if you know that you want to have a solid saving for the year, aside automating, ensure that your savings is not in the same account with your spending. There's a separate savings account. If you're like, oh no, I don't want to use Carrywise, I don't want to use Piggyvest, I don't want to use the economy, I don't want to use Ladder, I don't want to use everybody in the whole wide world, use a separate savings account. And for people who are Muslims and want to be halal compliant, most of these platforms allow you to be halal compliant. If you're thinking about fintech, even if it's your bank, you can always send an email to your account manager to help you set up your account so that you are faithful to your, I can't remember the right word, but yes, but you want to be halal compliant, right? So number 3 is to protect. Do not put your money in where you do not understand. Your friend is not your is not your savings account. I don't know how to put that correctly, but you want to be sure that wherever you're leaving your money is a good place. It is not inside your colo. I don't have anything. Okay, I have something wrong with colo. I can remember vividly that when I was in school, I love mint. If you want to give me money, give me mint, right? I used to collect mints. I don't know. Yes, I was collecting mints if I would put it nicely. So anytime I got clean money, I mean very clean money, I'll keep the money aside. So I got a colo, myself and my friend who was my flatmate. We were staying in different rooms. And I would always put mint inside my colo. Tell me why my colo vanished. Every other person's colo did not vanish. It's only my colo that vanished. So you want to be sure that whatever money that you are keeping, and trust me, there was money in that colo because it was mint and I was always keeping all my mint. You want to be sure that that money that you're keeping will not carry its leg and run away. So make sure that whatever platform you're using, whatever style you're using is safe. And this is the only issue I have with Kulu. Aside that, it's actually a very good one, right? So number one, have a separate account for saving. Number two, have automatic transfers, automatic transactions, whereby you've already set up that every month X amount is going to leave your account. And then if it's that, oh, I don't want to go out because I know that inside Kuda, you could have like a savings account inside Kuda. Use a different account and label it correctly so that your eye will not enter the money. And then if you're using a bank account, let's say you don't want to use a fintech, you want to use a proper bank account, ensure that you do not have extra access to that money. You probably would not want to have an ATM, or you might not want to use the mobile app, so that you're not tempted to just want to and withdraw money, right? So these are simple tips, simple tricks that you as an individual could probably use to thank you so much about that you want to use to ensure that you are compliant. So I said I was going to talk a bit about emergency fund earlier, right? So an emergency fund is that money that will come and save you when your money, when you have like you're in a financial crisis. Let's use an example. Let's say you lose your job. Your emergency fund will probably keep you afloat till you're able to get a new job. That is the purpose of an emergency fund. It is just money that you've been keeping actively away that will come and help you. One of my favorite examples for emergency fund is the day that I got locked out of the house when I got back from church because the key to the entrance of the house broke inside the mouth of the door and there was no way to open the door. So we had to go and look for what's it called? A technician, because this is not a carpenter's job, it was a security door, to help us to try his best to open the door. And we had to spend money because then we had to change the whole lock and blah, blah, blah. That was a whole lot of things. So using job loss might be extreme to some people. But another example would be maybe all your pots in the house just have hole and now you cannot cook. That could be an emergency, right? Or your car went bad. That could be an emergency. Your emergency fund is that money that you're going to use. And how do you get an emergency fund, or what do you do to have an emergency fund? Number one, you want to know how much money you spend every month. So if you're spending 100,000 naira every single month, then you want to have an emergency fund that would cover your expenses for 3 months to 6 months. So it means that you would have 100,000, or no, you're going to have 300,000 to 600,000 saved up as your emergency fund. So let's say your dog goes bad like mine, or any other thing happens that you did not plan for. I'm not talking about your house rent. I'm not talking about your wife giving birth. I'm talking about your school fees, like actual emergencies that would require financial commitment that you do not plan for. Then you use this particular money that you have saved aside. This is meant to be inside your goals, like I'd mentioned at the beginning, right? So how do you start? Start with 1 month. You might not be able to save up 3 months or 6 months at a stretch. You can't even do it as a stretch, except your income ratio, your expense is very high. If you're a normal human being like me, it's going to take you a bit to save up your emergency fund. So you want to do that 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. And when you max that out, you can move to the next step of your financial life. So another thing that I'm going to talk about today for you to plan for your money, what's it called? Yeah, for another money move that you want to plan for in the year 2026 is preparing for inflation. So many a times, in a few of the classes I had this year, I try to explain as much as possible that you have to plan for inflation. Even when you are doing your budget, you have to plan for inflation. We've seen how spaghetti went from 140 naira to now over 1,000 naira. I think spaghetti is like 1,400, or no, I think 1,200 or 1,100. I don't know, sure, but it's over 1,000 naira. But I remember vividly I used to buy spaghetti 100, 140, 150, and 120. I remember. So, and this was not in the far past. It's not so far away. You want to plan for inflation. This is simply because prices would always rise as long as you're in Nigeria. And one thing you all will agree with me that as a Nigerian, that whatever has gone up has refused to come down. I'm not sure I've seen anything that ever went down. In fact, I was even listening to the news and I was having hope that the dollar to the naira was adjusting itself, only for me to make transactions. And there was no difference. Let me not deviate. But prep for inflation. As you're planning yourself, know that price of things will still go up. So you want to plan towards it. You want to plan towards that. So price would always go up. Plan ahead. You're planning to buy a car by the end of the year. Factor in inflation. How much rise would probably, or what's the increase that would probably happen in the next 5-6 months? Looking back on what has been happening in the last couple of years, in fact, in the last 2-3 years, that will give you a more realistic goal to set so that you are doing what to do. Because one of the reasons why a lot of people do not hit their goals is that you will be saving an amount, then the day you want to go and buy it, you now see that the price has gone off. It's because you did not plan for inflation when you were planning that thing. That is the simple reason. That is why you were not able to hit that particular goal, and that is why you moved on to something else. So you want to plan towards inflation, transport inflation, food inflation, fuel inflation. You want to plan towards it, and maybe any other big purchase that you're looking at getting, you want to add inflation to it. You want to see what the increment will probably be, right? Prices would always rise. You want to ensure that you plan ahead, like it is a no-brainer, right? So how do you make your 2026 an investing year? I would keep talking about investing until as many people as possible get it. As many people as possible start investing until you taste this sweet thing that I'm enjoying. I will keep talking about investing. This is because many a times you would think that you need to start really, really big. No. When I had to start all over again, I started with 5,000 naira. It wasn't a lot of money. Right now, tell me that you do not have 5K in your account. Tell me that you cannot keep 5K every single month. Tell me how much you have spent on data, and I'll tell you remove 5K and go and invest that 5K. Because you want to start your investing journey. Investing is not for rich people. It is for everybody. It is for anybody who's interested in growing wealth. It's for anybody who's interested in not being the same, right? So you want to, as long as you can be consistent, investing is for you. So let's say you decide to invest and you're earning I think I put up a graph here. You're earning like a 20% because our MMF, like our mutual funds, are doing really well this period. And you decide that every single year you want to invest 100K. This is like people, you can literally do 100K monthly, like really, really. So let me just use this as a very simple example. You're investing 100K every single year and you're earning 20% interest. If you decide that you do not add any other money, by year 10, your money would have literally, what's it called? Yeah, it would have gone to 1 million. Let me see. Yeah, almost 1 millionaire by not adding anything. Just that you put it in an asset that is giving you 20K every single month. Oh no, sorry, every single year. Per annum, per annum, per annum. It's not every month. Per annum. Just like keeping 100K aside and you're earning 20% every year. So investing is pretty much you being consistent. Like that 5K at the end of the year is 60K. In 2 years, 120K. 5 years, it's going to be like 300K. But in that 5 years, your money could have grown if you leave it in a saving that's going to, or an investment that's going to give you around 10 to 12%. Your money can literally grow from being 300K to 420K to over 400,000, not 420, over 400,000, just from being consistent with 5,000 naira. In fact, the reason why I keep talking about 5,000 naira is because of my mom. And one example that I saw her do, like in less than 10 years, that money was almost 1,000,000 naira from 5,000 naira. So you just want to be consistent. When you think about investing, think about it as consistency. Don't fall for the trap of, oh, if I don't have a lot of money, then I should not be investing. That is not your business for now. Your business for now is for you to be able to start and for you to be able to be consistent. Your current business now. Because in you trying to be consistent, then you'll start looking for ways to earn more money so you can now invest more money. And at the end of the day, in 10, 20 years, you're like, okay, no, I'm already the next Dangote. I'm not doing again. Let me close shop and live off my investment. It's as simple as that. Yes, even simpler said than done. But yeah, I hope you understand. Every single month that you invest, every single day that you invest, you literally buy a day in the future where you do not have to work. I don't know about you people, but I will keep saying this, that I have decided that I'm not going to work for the rest of my life. I decided that in my 40s and in my 50s, I am going to decide whether or not I want to work. It is going to be a decision of whether or not. It is not going to be a decision of if I don't work, I would not survive or my children will not be fine. No, it's going to be a situation of if I want to. And how am I going to achieve that? Simple maths. Oh, how much can I put aside? I know the amount should be. I will be putting it aside. And I will be consistent with it because I know that in another 20, 30 years, I don't want to actively work. That is how you should be looking at it. I did not start with 1 million. I did not start with 5 million. You don't have to start with a lot of money. What you need to do is start small, grow smart, and stay consistent. That is the formula that would forever work. Check. Go through the richest people in the world. Go through the most popular investor, Warren Buffett. Go and see. It is consistency that is that man's formula. There's no other thing that's giving that man more money than consistency. And you, as an individual, in your own capacity, you can do the same thing, right? So how do you want to do this? Like I said, start small, stay consistent, right? And you want to have monthly targets. The same way you say, okay, I want to save 100K every single month in the year 2026 to become an investor. You can say, I'm going to invest 50K every month. I'm going to invest 200K every month. Mind you, if you could remember vividly, there's a mass I did on how you can become a billionaire. If you are not rich like me, I'm not rich yet. So when I'm rich, I can be a billionaire by one transaction. But for now, the calculation is that if I'm able to keep 200K every single month for the next 35 years, and I earn a very tiny amount of interest using probably, is it 10 or 12%, I am going to be a billionaire. Now, before anybody will open their mouth and say, but when you're in the next 35 years, you will be old, you'll not be able to enjoy that money. I want to ask a very simple question that I always ask when anybody wants to ask me, but 35 years is far. How many people do you know are billionaires? Just in case you know somebody that is a billionaire, please connect me to the person, mind you. But now, back to what we are saying. How many people do you know, like right now, that is a billionaire? I mean in your circle. I mean in your current vicinity. How many people do you know that is a billionaire? So it is a matter of, will I be serious with myself or will I not be serious with myself? Will I face my front and do what is going to pay me or not? Or will I remain pessimistic and keep calculating how, oh, this is not going to work, that is not going to work? Left for you. So how do you make your investment plan? You want to have a monthly target. You want to have a monthly amount that you're going to be putting aside. Number two, you want to have specific assets that you're going to be working with. This is because you already know what you want to invest in. Number three, you want to then split this into your different investment. That monthly target, you want to now split it into your different investment. Opari, that's all. That is how you're going to win when it comes to investing in 2026. There's no other way out. If there is, you can tell me. But for now, in all of the book I've read, there's no other way out. Right? So let's move on quickly. Okay, let's move on quickly. I don't want to keep you here too late. So how exactly are you, or how exactly can you build wealth in 2026? What is your formula? I'm going to share with you a very, very simple formula that you as an individual can use. Number one, you want to earn. So if you're not earning money right now, I think your first goal for 2026 is how to bring in as much money as possible. Change your jobs, get a new job, start a new business, get a new side hustle. You want to earn. Number two, you want to manage that money. You want to manage that money. How do you manage that money? I've already mentioned you want to budget. You want to have an emergency fund. You want to be sure that this particular money that you have is being managed well. Number three, in our formula, you want to multiply your money. Non-negotiable, you want to invest. There's no other way. So let me give you a quick analogy. When you save money, you're giving yourself security. You're giving yourself the chance to not worry if there is a mishap or if there's something wrong that happens. But when you invest, you're literally telling your future self that I've got you. You don't have to work one extra day because I'm paying it forward. Oh, I can now quit my job at blah, blah, blah age and retire because I have set up systems for myself that is going to pay me till thy kingdom come. Now, for you to build wealth, it is not by cho-cho-cho. It is not by thinking. It is not by attending webinars. It is not by listening to me. It is by doing these things I've just mentioned. When you make money, you manage the money, and then you multiply the money. When you make money, you earn, you manage the money, you budget, you save, then you multiply the money, you invest. You see this wealth of a thing? It is a very simple system, but the problem is a lot of people do not like to follow systems. A lot of people like to cut through the corners. A lot of people like to just jump around. Just pick one thing this coming here. Tell yourself that I, Oluchukwu, I'm going to pick one thing and I'm going to work with it and I'm going to see the results. Right? So you cannot even multiply, you cannot grow what you do not manage. So I would ask some of you that would come to work with me one-on-one. And then the first thing I'm asking, how much is your expenses for the month? How much do you need to be you? Like now, how much is that money that you need to stay alive, to survive? Some of you tell me, I don't know. I think it is maybe, how do you now want to grow? How do you now want to increase in wealth? How do you now want to multiply that money when you're not even sure whether or not if you earn more money, you will spend more money? But let's not overflog this. Have people screenshotted this word formula? Let's move on. Number two, the 12 roadmap I'm going to give to everybody here for free. For free, something you can try out and you can use, you can implement for yourself. Number one, in Q1, you want to look at how you can stabilize your finances. Ensure that January is not 90 days for you. if you've been in community and you've been active, you see that I already put up a savings challenge for everybody to be able to withdraw money in middle of January so you have money to spend for yourself. You want to stabilize. You want to be able to know I have A, I have B, I have C. I have an emergency fund. This is the amount of money I need to use to survive. This is my goal, my income goal. This is my growth goal. This is my upskilling goal. And this is what I'm going to set up myself. Number two, Q2, you're looking at ways to ensure that you are saving money. Saving money in the sense that if you are just starting out and trying to get stabilized, you want to have money that you're going to fall back to in case there's anything. And you want to have money to be able to use to start your investing journey at the end of the day. Because at this point, you should have your emergency fund sorted. Number three, in Q3, you want to start investing consistently. This is for anybody that is just starting, like, okay, 2026 is going to be that year. The reason why I spread it out, because somebody will ask me now, but you can do all of this in 3 months. Did you do it in 2025? Were you able to do it in 2025? Spread it out so you don't feel overwhelmed. Spread it out so you have more wins to clap for yourself about. Then in Q4, you want to come back and you want to review and look at, okay, did I hit my income goal? Did I hit my growth goal? Did I hit my upskilling goal? What can I do better? What did I do well? How can I do better? Very simple. You do not wake up one day from being someone who is not prudent with money and then via magic wand, you become prudent. You will still fall. In fact, I was even beating myself up the other day. So there's particular money I'm supposed to earn, but the money doesn't come consistently. But I know an average of what it's supposed to. I didn't know an average of what it's supposed to be. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to use this money to do my Christmas gifting and whatnot, like my end of year feliciting that I like to do because I'm very big on giving gifts. And tell me why I finally looked at the total money on my spreadsheet and the money that I've spent from the money I'm supposed to use and buy gifts for people. There's only 1/3 of that money left. So I've spent 2/3. And last I checked, it was just 80K I removed though. It was just 50K I removed though. And guess what? I spent 2/3 of the money. Fine, it was still for gifting. But then again, the main purpose of the money was for the end of the year. And I've used it to buy birthday gifts throughout the year for people. So when it comes to your finances, you would have to be on your toes. You would have to be on your toes. It is not you're just going to wake up and have it all figured out. Or because you've listened to me now, you're motivated, you will now be able to do it. It doesn't work like that. You have to continue and continue and continue until it becomes a part of you. Right? Okay, so please excuse me. Yes, this doesn't go off. Yes. So screenshot this as well. And then I added, okay, yeah, we're almost done, Seth. I added common obstacles that a number of people will tell me because I've seen a lot of people tell me, oh, I'm an undergrad. Oh, I just started my life journey. Oh, I don't earn enough. You tell yourself all the time that your money is not enough, but I tell you, if you're able to use a budget and pretty much write it out, put it in percentages, put it in priorities, you would be able to move. Like the main problem that we have, like I said at the beginning, is thinking that the money is not enough, thinking that the money is too small. The next thing is the discipline part. A lot of people don't have discipline. A lot of people don't have self-discipline. That's just the truth. That is the truth. Like a lot of people, when it comes to money, a lot of people do not have discipline. And for you to win, for you to excel, you need discipline. It's not negotiable. So how do you fix that? You want to get accountability. You want to be in an accountability group. You want to be in a community where they are motivating you. This year alone, on the YPFG community, we've saved over $500 million. And then I went to celebrate on the savings group in particular. And somebody was like, oh my God, she sent me in a DM that her goal for the year was 100K. This person has already saved 650K from a goal of wanting to save 100. How? Why? She was like, oh, thank you for the constant reminder. I sent emails. I was from time to time there were messages on the group, just reminders. You want to get accountability. You want to be in a circle of people that think like you, that want the same thing as you. You also want to have your emergency fund so that every single time you're not falling backward, and always review, check. What is that unexpected expenses? What is that thing that you've outgrown? Do you want to revise it? Right? Do you know what will happen if you start today? Do you know the best thing that will happen now? Now you have a bit of clarity. If you go back and actually implement and write down all of these things, you get a bit of clarity, right? Number two, you would have control. One thing that I know for sure is that it's very important for you to have control of your money, for you to feel like you have control. That way, you're able to do better. That way, you're able to pretty much excel. And because you have control, you directly have confidence. See, there's nothing like knowing that I know what I'm doing with my money. I know how much I have. I know that my finances is doing well. I know that if I continue investing, I can actually say that I'm not working again in X amount of period of time and I will be fine. I know that I can take a career break and I will be fine. Do you know what gives you that kind of confidence? Control. And if you do not have clarity, you cannot have control, which means that you cannot have confidence about your finances. And because you are here and we've spoken about so many things, this is not charging. We're talking about so many things that you as a person can do for 2026. You would not need a lot of these things. Like you are literally going to do better. So if you're interested, how many of us have been following? I think some people dropped off again. How many of us have been following? You can start sending in your questions. We're going to wrap up in another 11, 15 minutes just for the questions too. But I'm done. I'm literally done. How many of us would be implementing any of these things that you have just heard, you have just listened to? Let me know. Oh, I like your name. That's yourself. Need to check you out. I'm checking the chat on Zoom. Okay, so we've gotten a few responses. I will. So if you're interested in going deeper, we're going to be having another class in January. This is going to be a paid class, by the way. It's gonna be paid. We're done for the year, and we're done for the year. This is our last community event. If you're interested, you can sign up for the Money Moves Masterclass, and it's going to cover a lot of things. I'm not sure how, maybe a 3-hour, or it's going to cover what we have for. Oh, the screenshot is for people on Zoom, not for people on IG. So I was going to say that I didn't even give an intro of myself. So I saved any money when I was in primary school. I'm saving money consistently. I'm very, very, very addicted to saving. I'm trying to stop, Sha. We'll find a way around it. We'll figure it out one day, right? And I've been able to build this community to help people get better with their money, to start saving. Go on Piggyvest, you see us, we're doing like over 500 million. Like we have over 514 million as when I checked in our saving challenge. We have the School of Investing Bootcamp for people that are interested in learning how to invest. The next cohort will be in February. So if you want to be serious in 2026 with your investment, you might want to join the School of Investing Bootcamp as well. So I'm going to be holding, let me see. We're going to be holding the Money Moves Bootcamp. Oh, no, not Bootcamp, Masterclass. I think by January 11th. And I'm going to be talking about a number of things. I'm going to be walking you through things like your investment, what are those investments that you want to pay attention to in 2026. We're going to be talking about your savings, how you can stay consistent and help you stay consistent in 2026. We're going to be talking about how you can do better with your spending, things that you want to take note of, how you can cut down, how you can ensure that you're enjoying your life without feeling like you are being cramped up when it comes to your money. For that same in that same class, I'm also going to be talking about how the tax would affect you, the things you're supposed to know about the different tax laws. And if that was all that we're going to talking about in that particular class, I would have been very, very happy. But no, I like to do. So for everybody who joins the class, there's going to be bonus materials on one, how to set goals. I'm going to make a video for goal setting that anybody who joins the class is going to have access to. I'm also going to be giving away a free monthly checklist. So anytime you're interested in probably reviewing your finances, you can use that every single month. It's going to be a bonus at that for that class as well. And that's not going to be all, because in that particular class, we're also going to still be walking you through how to stay accountable. And anybody who joins the class is going to join the community to remain accountable. We're going to have a one month accountability, because I would need everybody to set goals, and then we can then start. Then a bonus I'm going to be adding, I'm going to make a list of 15 different side hustles that anybody who is interested can use, check, do more research on, and make more money for yourself. And I'm going to answer as many questions as possible in this same class. And from now to the 11th of December, it's going to go for 6,999 naira only. Oh no, I'm not done. There's going to be 100K cash prize as well that I'm going to be distributing. So my community members know that whenever I give out cash, I give it correct. So there's going to be 100K cash that's going to be distributed to a few people who would join the class, and it's going to be distributed as stock as well. So if you're interested in investing and winning some stocks, you want to sign up for the class, and you're going to get more than you're going to get more than your registration fee. So I'm happy to answer questions. I think we have around 5 minutes left, but I'm happy to answer any question that you have around everything that I've spoken about, or if you want to ask about the class. For you to simply register, just go to the link in my bio. It's there. For those on the call, I'll send you an email with the link to register, and you're good to go. Okay, so let me send the link to register right now. Okay. Uh-oh, there's an error there. But yes, do we have questions? Or should we call it a day? I'm still contemplating whether or not to have the recording on YouTube, because I was not looking at the screen. That's why I'm not sure. But yes, we have a lot to celebrate this month. And oh my God, let me turn off the recording so it's not too long. We have a lot to celebrate this. Uh-oh, I turned off the wrong thing.